What's going on, everybody? Welcome. And today, I want to start off with kind of a warning. And that warning is never praise foolish behavior. Say it again. Never praise foolish behavior. And although that phrase is simple, for some reason, we live in a world now, especially in this country, we live in a world now where the more foolish behavior you practice, the more you're praised. And I find it to be a really, really serious problem. See, behavior are actions that are repeated. They're pretty much behavior is a repeated action. And you have what's considered good behavior and what's considered bad behavior, right? Good behavior is basically when you do something positive for yourself or someone else, and there's a benefit to it. Bad behavior is usually identified as actions that have a negative effect on yourself or other people. The problem is people have mistaken bad behavior for good behavior and good behavior for bad behavior. Now, when someone practices a behavior, you usually can identify whether or not it's a positive or negative behavior by the actions or reactions of the people around you. If a baby, does something cute or considered funny, and everyone claps, that baby sees it as a positive feedback from what they did. First the action, then the response to the action. So when that baby says his first word, when that baby says mama or dada, and then everyone is smiling and laughing and cheering, that baby in their mind sees that, oh, this is something positive. So the more I talk, the more positive feedback I get. So they associate speaking with positive, right? Now, that baby gets older and they say a word that isn't so positive. They say a negative word. That person only knows that word is negative by the reaction of the people around them. If they call someone out their name, if they use a derogatory term, they slander someone, what usually happens is once they say that particular word, there's a negative feedback from the audience. And then that person associates, okay, so not all words are good. We know that some words are good and some words are bad. Same thing with actions. As we get older and as we have more experience in our life, we realize that some actions are good and some actions are not so good. And we know this by associating the action with a reaction. You do a good deed, you get a good response. You do a bad deed, you get a bad response. Now, as I said, things are getting quite confused, convoluted, you would say, because now it has become commonplace for people to do something bad, yet they get a positive response. And what are those positive responses? A positive response can be words of affirmation. It can be a round of applause. It can be in the form of uh, physical gifts. It could be a present. It can be money, right? So when you do something that is not good, but the response to your actions is positive to you, then the message has now become confusing because now people associate bad behavior with good deeds. So once you have given a positive feedback for a negative action and it is repeated, it becomes a habit. Every time I do something, I get a positive feedback. So I'm going to continue to do this negative thing because I want a positive feedback. So now we turn to social media. Social media, although it wasn't its original intent, social media has now transformed itself into a vehicle for positive reinforcements for negative actions. And it has also given negative reinforcements for positive actions. We now have a time where people can do something positive but get a negative feedback. And we have a time where people can do a negative action and get positive feedback. So now we have a generation of people who don't really know the difference between what's a positive and a negative action. Because now we have rewarded negative behavior and we have condemned positive behavior. Now that's not all cases. It's not 100% across the board, paint with a broad stroke. No, it's not. However, and this is not new. There's always been things like this where people have congratulated negativity and condemned positivity. It's always been the case. That's nothing new. But it's never been at this scale. Never in the history of humankind has there been such a enormous amount of actions being rewarded. Why? That's why I said because people all across the world can upload a video and within a matter of seconds can get a response from hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands, 100,000, even millions of people who they don't even know. You can have a 30-second video, 30-second clip of you doing something, and whether it be positive or negative, you are guaranteed for that little 30-second clip that you just posted to get a reaction. You're guaranteed for that little clip to get a reaction. Now, whether it be positive reaction or a negative reaction, a lot of the times, it doesn't even matter. All that person wants is a reaction. See, that's also confusing, because now, like I said, when people don't understand what's a positive and a negative reaction, they'll take any reaction as positive. I don't care. Hey. I don't care who likes it. What? What? You're a dog, see? I don't care who likes the reaction or don't like the reaction, as long as I got a reaction for my little 30-second clip. To me, it's positive. That's how people see it. You know, they say there's no such thing as bad press. All press is good press. Is how you spin it. See, that right there is a slippery slope because if you say there's no such thing as bad press, all press is good press, that means that once you find a way to manipulate the positive feedback and the negative feedback to your benefit, you don't care how you get the attention or how you get the feedback. You don't care if it's positive or negative. It can be a clip of you feeding the homeless, or it can be a clip of a fight. You can post both clips up, get a reaction, and find a way to get feedback, to get a reaction you want. And now that we've been able to monetize our content, and they always say, and controversy is always the name of the game. The more controversial, the more eyes you have on that particular piece of content. So whether it be positive or negative, the bigger the controversy, the more eyes you have. And the more eyes you have, the more you are able to find a way to finagle it, to monetize it. Which means once you find what sells more, you will abandon that thing that doesn't sell. So if people knew that positivity was able to get you more money faster, you will see more positive clips, and the news people will actually report more positive. However, if you know that this controversial, this scandalous, this salacious, this negative information would get more eyes on you and your content, and it would sell more, you would say to yourself, well, shoot, what if I can get more attention, and if I can get more money posting up negative content as opposed to positive content, the name of the game is get money. So it don't matter if the content is even true, as long as it's controversial, it has some kind of negativity, I will be rewarded for my content. And that's where we have the problem. When you reward foolish behavior, you have now given people the license to be their worst selves. Once you have confirmed to that person that yes, we like your content, we're willing to pay you to get the exclusive, we're willing to give you the publicity you want for posting the negative content, you have now changed the narrative of what is positive and negative. You have now told that person or that group of people that negativity is the way to go. You have rewarded negative behavior. And once you do it to one person, you gotta do it to everybody else. Because if one person sees that they're benefiting from negative behavior, once someone else sees, they say, well, shoot, if it worked for him or if it worked for her, then I can do it. So I'm gonna post something negative. I'm gonna post some negative behavior. I'm gonna post some negative content. And if the same result happens with that person as it does with me, then 1 turn to 2, 2 turn to 4, 4 turn to 8, 16, 32, 64, all that stuff. And it multiplies exponentially. So now you have rewarded a group of people. You went from a single person to a group of people being rewarded for negative behavior. They go from a group of people to a society being rewarded for negative behavior. You go from a whole society to a culture. Now you have a whole civilization being rewarded for negative behavior. You know? So that's why I say never reward negative behavior. Because once you go down that slippery slope, it's hard to get out of. And it's hard to tell what's true and what's not, and what's right and what's wrong. And when you mistake right for wrong and wrong for right, you have not only damaged one person, you have damaged the entire civilization in the long run. So be careful and never reward negative behavior. All right? Catch y'all later. Peace.